Hello everybody, welcome back and happy Fragment Friday. Level 50 Haunted Holy Ground here on the V's Place server. Nice snowy field for us today, a little bit of a peaceful scene. About to be interrupted by giant monsters and fantastic battle, because that's what we do here at the greatest digital block party in these here interwebs, Fragment Friday. If you're looking to get in on the action, or maybe just chat with some people, have some fun, all the links are down below for the .hack network and for NetSlum, the lobby server for Fragment. So you can go ahead and look at getting into the game yourself, or even just chatting with fellow hackers and having some fun talking about it. Starting off big Lygon here. Picking up some App Anide, increasing our Dark Element, and grabbing some Cordyceps. Another thing you could check out should you choose to start playing Fragment and go ahead and get your copy telepatched. The fantastic translation patch that Telly and a host of others were working on the NetSlum Discord, translating the entire server. Mechanics, picking up the story and translating it from the beginning, getting menus and everything going along. Another thing you could look into is the optional patch to change the voice files for the grunty foods from Japanese to English. That video and several other fantastic tutorial videos, along with a couple posted just for fun and love of the game, can be found at a Fragment from the NetSlum, a sort of YouTube hub site affiliated with the game, and that link is down below as well. Hackin' Faster, been a couple weeks since we've seen one of these. As a Gligon strolls in from the side. Not trying to press it too much today. Actually had quite a strain getting myself up to level 80 here, and I'm just kinda soaking it in, letting it take hold, and most importantly, not really trying to do too much to jeopardize it. I actually went to run a level 80 field just yesterday and ran into an absolute nightmare scenario, which was a shame because I ran into it about 10 seconds after spotting Santa Grunty in the air. In case you're unfamiliar, the Flying Fleet and all of the other little bonus game materials are typically floating above you in the different servers when you enter a field. There's a chance to see them up in the sky, and usually there's some sort of auditory chime or something that will let you know when the things are passing by. Get some really good looks in first person if you're paying attention and you're lucky enough to be in the right spot. The different ones are tied to the different root towns, so in online, if you go to any server with NetSlum as the root town, there's a chance to see the mythical Santa Grunty flying his sleigh in the sky. I did get a screen cap of it, and I posted it to the Discord to share with a whole bunch of people. Most notably Dow, who has a collection of Santa Grunty sightings. My capture wasn't that good, but it is clearly there, and if you wanted to check it out, again, check out that Discord. It's a good time, and get to see my amateur photography skills on display. Taking out that Gligon. Looks like we just got one lonely portal left directly above the dungeon. Don't see a spring of mist or anything, so not much to worry about there. And it's a risky treasure to round out the portals. Not to worry though, just because the portals are cleared doesn't mean we're finished with battle. Here comes a Gligon out of nowhere. pick up some Spectre's Blades, which is nice, and then pick up some Battle, which is, you know, necessary. Being a bit over Gligon's level, though, we're acting at a far faster rate than it, so it's got a somewhat muted response to us, and in fact just sort of lets us stand there and hack away at it. Speed boost wore off from Apdu, but that's okay because we're gonna ride a Grunty in anyway, and just for the sake of brevity, I'm gonna choose the Iron Grunty, just press triangle, and it'll take me right to the dungeon entrance. Just like that. So glad I got offline and raised those Grunties. Yes, I still have to do it for my long arm. Did finally track down some snaky cactuses and save, because the first time I did it I was so relieved at the end of the upload I just sort of hit the X button. Into the dungeon. Refreshing the buffs as I typically do when I solo, and in we go. Risky treasure. So glad I didn't go in just mashing the attack button. Picking up a resurrect and an ice strike before moving on. Yet another Gligon. We're not saddened by that. Hitting for consistent 280 damage. I've got Eternity up instead of Evil Eyes. A bit more consistent a weapon, obviously a higher level, and having the multi-target hit attack is also beneficial. Eternity right now, the highest level weapon I've got on my Blade Master. Still on the hunt for the Chaos Sword. Had a really promising lead, sort of turn out not so promising, as it seemed to be giving gold coins for guild enhancement instead of the Chaos Sword on the designated path. Have to look more into it down the road and maybe find a way to get that Chaos Sword in another dungeon. In the meantime, picking up some ice strikes, because ice is nice, especially in a snowy field. This has actually been a Fragment full day for me. I am recording this on a Wednesday, as I typically do, so it's ready for all you fine people right away, midnight Friday. I think really the only midnight upload I do throughout the week, just to make sure anyone who's up when I'm not has a chance to see it early. But I'm recording this now. I just got done filming a little something in offline mode, and actually spent the morning streaming, and it reminded me a lot of watching Snownomi's streams. Snownami, one of the mods for the Netslum Discord, a long-time player, used to do rare hunting on live stream on his Twitch channel. Always be fun to pop in, watch him go in there. Still does some really cool games on there. I know he does a lot of Dead by Daylight on there, and that's an enjoyable stream. The Acanthasters keep coming, but again, we're over leveled, so they're hitting few and far between, and we don't really worry about the damage they do. At one point, those ice spells would be more than enough to take out half our health. They also have the ability to paralyze, do the Acanthasters, but we have yet to encounter that on this run, and we won't be too sad if we never do. Just that quick, putting the first floor in the books and moving to the second. Fairies orb to light the way. Actually going to break from my usual and not... I typically don't plug my own stuff if I can avoid it, but this one's actually got a bit of personal significance to me, and it's what I think is a really cool project. Meshing two of my favorite franchises as a kid together, kid, teenager, what have you. The dot hack world, obviously very near and dear to me, and if you look on the channel, it is literally plastered across. I want to say 60% of my stuff is dot hack related at this point. Another thing that was very, very near to me, a younger me, was the game Final Fantasy Tactics. So I meshed the two together in a little project I'm calling Dot Hack Tactics, because original names aren't my forte. Where we're going through and playing random battles to level up the NPCs you can acquire at the soldier's office in the game, in the stylings of notable dot hack NPCs. Ooh, Earthman drill. This is no good for us. Let's see if it will take a Deck Vorv. Deck Vorv is down physical tolerance. And if we can get one to land, we could just tack away at it. I don't see that happening, though. I gotta be perfectly honest. I'll give it another try here, but yeah, it's just not gonna happen for us. And I'm pretty sure my spell's Earth, so that's not gonna do a whole ton. So let's go ahead and change the shortcut real quick here to Ormeanizot. Slide out of the road. Of course, we can take our time and casually do this because we are this much higher, and it's not like the thing's going to be coming at us out of the blue here. Strangely, I think we were doing better with the Earth spell, just mana efficiency wise. Let's go back. Giganzod it is. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're only giving up about 45-50 damage there, but we're conserving 20 SP each cast. So there you go. A case where elemental stats are the deciding factor between two spells. Either way, we're going to be here a little bit, so I'm just going to keep rambling because this turns out to have been the perfect portal for me to babble about my own pet project on. Currently over there, our party is Kite, moving into Archer with a little bit of Ninja and Thief for the twin bladey aspects from R1. I believe it was in Link he was an Archer, and I mean, let's face it, you're not going to have a ranged melee class if you go strictly R1. Plus little things like data drain and whatnot make sense for Kite to be able to attack at a range and heavy. Gonna take a risk here and do a data drain. End up picking up a Dark God's Axe. Not so worried about the experience on that one. I was more worried about the negative side effects that could happen from a data drain, as it is entirely possible to level down from one, or lose an item at random from your inventory. But sometimes you gotta take those risks. Get a couple nightmares here. Since they're both in range, just go ahead and club away at both. That, of course, the winning strategy for farming PT's wand out of either the crab server or Honkick. But we've got Kite, Got Tsukasa, who we're obviously leveling up as a mage, but we are going the black magic route through Time Mage to Summoner. Mistral is taking the white magic route and probably going to go ahead and look at something like Mediator based off personality, trying to match up with things like that. And fourth in our party is Sanjuro, who is going to Samurai, right now holding on steady as a knight. Got a few uploads in on it, made some decent progress, and starting to advance to the point where I think off camera next week I'm probably going to play through a couple story events to open up the map and the item variety and potency a little. So if this sounds interesting to you at all, please go ahead and check it out. The eternal struggle between Blade Master and Earthman Drill currently continuing. Got it down under half. It's put my buffs to sleep. So all I've got left are the Rig Beam and Rig Same that I had to replenish due to their notoriously short timer. One of the rare cases where it being off and timing works to your advantage. And again, once I get the Protect break here, I'm probably going to go ahead and Drain, because that, to me, is the most time-efficient call. Bracelet is shining. We now have the 21-28 Drain available. What do you know about that? Let's go into that skills menu just so you know what we're talking about here. It is the third stage of Data Drain. Of course, the Drain arc could hit multiple enemies. 21-28 Drain only hits one enemy, but the possibility of a rare item is high. And if you're taking that risk in the game, by all means, you should get it paid off. So let's go ahead for that 21-28 Drain. Get our speed boost up, and we'll replenish other buffs if they need done before the exit of the level here. Honestly, between the Earthman drills and my off-topic babbling, I sort of forgot what our place was here, and I do apologize for that. Now it looks like a pretty clear path to the bottom, so we will replenish buffs at the start of the third floor. Floor number 3 it is. Get that Fairy's Orb working for us. Reset the timer on the speed, which I don't mind doing at all because I've got it tied to gear via the spell app Do. Also tied to gear are Rig Beam and Rig Same. The app Vorv and app Vorma effects that I'm getting boosting my physical and magical defense are still bloods. They are knights and beast bloods respectively, which is why they're going off faster without the spell casting animation time, because they're technically potions. And this is technically an Earthman drill. Feels a little fishy that we're not getting an actual battle in between them, but we'll take that shot with the 21-28 Drain, because gotta take a stand sometimes and try, you know? Just gotta remember to leave ample SP, as the 21-28 Drain costs a whopping 30 SP. And I know I say that somewhat sarcastically with a pool of 250. When you consider you're probably starting level 1 with 15, hearing that a skill is going to take twice just to turn a monster into a different monster, it's a bit of a daunting thing to sort of reconcile in the old noggin there. Earthman Drill has been putting up a precious nothing against us, as we expect. Gonna get it down under 2,000 here in a couple casts. There it is. And then it heals, so it's like it never happened. That's okay though. There's our Protect break. Maj Lee is cast, and we get a Dark God's Axe. Not sure what Maj Lee is. Feel like it might be paralyzed or something. Have to look it up sometime. But for now, we are stuck in the land of 1,000 Earthman drills, and my goodness, is that going to just stretch the time on this run. At this point, we have to be very cognizant of the data drain level, because it seems like we're just going to be hitting these things constantly with little to no reprieve. Also, seem to be hitting the bottom of the SP barrel there, so it's time to pop an Artisan Soul. More projects going on. Emus, mostly emus, but I was there as well. We've been playing some co-op Donkey Kong Country 2, just took down a boss battle there. That is on the channel in the retro section. Become a pretty steady weekly upload. Good news just keeps rolling for us here as Rig Game wears off. One more should Protect break, yep. And here comes the drain. Pick up a Fire Beast. Time to re-up the buffs. Picking up the moon out of the chest. Bearcat egg in the opposite corner, and not too much else of value. Let's break a couple crates, a couple barrels, and be on our merry way. Head down and hopefully encounter something that isn't a giant ape with an auger sticking out of its chest. Or we can encounter a giant ape with an auger sticking out of its chest. Not so much that I dislike fighting these, I just dislike fighting 5 of these in a row with the Blade Master. I'm sure you understand. This is where having a high-level wood attack would come in handy. I suppose a high-level wood spell, since nothing is physically getting by this Earthman drill. Cast. It gets a cast in. We've got it down under 3,000. We know the drill. We're going to go back and forth here, get it near 2,000. It's going to heal once. We're going to hit a couple more times. The Protect break is going to happen, and then we're going to drain. What you may not know is that at a young age, my hands were so flexible I was actually able to bend my fingers like an ungodly way back, and everyone was like, doesn't that hurt? It didn't really hurt, just sort of the way it worked. There's a random fact about me. Brought nothing to this conversation. Picking up another Fire Beast and taking our sweet old time getting to that, because speed boost wore off. You know, you have these things. Pick up an Ice Strike, and I'm sure I'll find another random fact about me to share if this is another Earthman drill. Thank goodness it's a sand mountain. Sand mountains are also physically tolerant, but they actually acknowledge Deck 4, which means we could go ahead, pop it, and since we are over leveled, it hits first time. Now we're hitting this sucker for 291 damage, and even though it's getting a cool 106 per tick on some health regen of its own via the Rig Same skill, we're still fairly confident we're going to win that foot race. Picking up a recovery drink out of the warrior's body. golden egg there. Fortune wire this risky treasure, and find it's gotta resurrect. We are still squarely in that green to yellow range on the data drain. So we'll definitely want a couple more sand mounds, if at all possible, to open up the next couple rooms in the next floor. Cleaning up this little treasure trove here. Got some chests, some eggs, some crates, and some barrels. And now we're moving down. Floor number 4, always a fun number to hit. Always a good time to re-up the buffs. Be interesting to see how far this actually goes down. There is a sand mountain. Have a little mental game of physical chess with the sand mountain as we go for an attack. Its physical tolerance stops us, so we go for deck warp, which allows it time to cast Rig's Same, so it could start minimizing the input of the physical damage we are currently doing, which is at a far higher level due to our advanced level. Man, that all sounded really good until I repeated that. Either way, that lasted just long enough for the battle to end. Picking up the moon out of the chest that spawns after. And let's check out the left side of the map here. Got a small treasure room to check out here, a couple chests to pick up. Getting some Cygnus, getting the moon, getting the lovers. Hey, another recovery drink out of the box. Not such a bad little haul for that room. Into the next we go. Portal right smack dab in the middle. That's given us nightmares. Of the pseudo-equestrian variety. Best I could describe this for those who aren't currently looking at the screen is nightmares are styled as centaurs having a really bad day. The horse half seems to be cut in half itself, which I guess makes it a horse quarter, only it's much bigger than that. It's about a horse 38%. Which really makes the human side sound more, but you see the horse half is usually about 66%. You've got about a human third on a centaur, unless he's really, really tall, in which case you could probably stretch it to 35, maybe 40%. This has been fantasy creature percentages with a grumpy old guy gaming. Don't really know where I came up with that, just random thought when I saw the nightmare up here. Treasure chest giving us the lovers here and moving to the next room. Got some stairs down, so we know we're in for at least 5 floors of fun. Acanthastor. Another enemy we're happy to see because it's something we can actually tangibly hit. Let it throw that ruse spell at us, and we will finish the job shortly thereafter. See the door opening before us, beckoning us to the next room, and we shall answer its call. Just a risky treasure out of that portal, which gives us a frost hauberk. Corner chests give us the moon and an ice strike, and just like that, we are moving to floor 5. Again, no major surprises, but any major surprises would most likely be unfortunate, and trying to avoid that today. Down into the 5th we go, and this looks suspiciously like it's going to be the end for us. So before we take that curtain call, let's go ahead and get our buffs up, explore the left side of the map first, and then work our way right. We can see a room that looks suspiciously like the statue room, actually directly beneath us. But it's a little out of the way to get there, and we want to make sure it is what it is before entering. So we will take a look for any potential entrances to the next floor first. Sand Mountain. Okay, that's 3 times my R2 button didn't work, and then when we finally got Deck Vorf to trigger, it missed. These days, they will happen. 0 for 3 on the Deck Vorf, and we know it'll hit, it's just a matter of time. See, there it goes. Now we just gotta hack away at this. Kind of like cutting actual sand. Just keep slicing in with all of our might, and it just keeps shifting around. We displace a little bit, but we're using a sword. It's not really taking all that much out. Do finally get it. Just before a big old spell was about to, you know, put a couple dents in the helm. Sure enough, the left side is a pair of dead ends. First one's got a treasure chest, so we will check that out. Another Sand Mountain. And another chance to Deck Vorf our hearts out. Ah, dang, I missed a chance to say Deck Vorf the halls. Hopefully I hold on to that one for a couple months and use it for a holiday episode. Maybe do a parody video. Best of .hack holiday music. Hey, first try Deck Vorf. Been a while since we've had one of those. We were actually kind of lucky early on. The first, I think, 2 Sand Mountains we ran into took a first try Deck Vorf successfully. Really not surprising when you use that skill to see it miss once or twice. Always surprising to see it miss 28 consecutive times, which happened to me with Beast Banes and a King Worm quite a few months ago. Left side is taken out. Now if there's nothing but dead ends on the right, we in fact knew it was good to hold off on that statue room. And that is indeed the case. Only one dead end to examine. Picking up some pure water here. Always nice to see. Get another Cygnus. Making sure we will be monetarily cared for at the end of this dungeon. Big old close-up of Sand Mountain. Probably one of the most disappointing monsters you could ever fight right next to the camera, because it's a little mean face with pointy teeth on a giant mound of orange. So chances are, unless you're looking very close for those facial features as they're obstructed by the icons and the user interface, you're just seeing a whole bunch of orange. I apologize. Finally able to move away from the doorway. Yes, I was literally trapped in the doorway by the Sand Mountain. Recasting Rig Same and Rig Game because I can. Picking up a nice strike out of the corner chest and moving up into this lovely little dead end hallway. Give us a couple Hands of God. Fun fact about Hands of God, they're weak to earth. So we've actually waited all dungeon for Eternity to pay off as our weapon choice, and in the next to last portal, the penultimate encounter, it finally does so. I'm as close as I get to happy about that. Smashing a barrel for good luck, as one does. Moving into this little sort of 90-degree turn room where we get 2 more hands of God to finish this off. And again, making us feel really, really smart on our weapon choice. Get a big ol' elemental hit, and between that and the accessory damage, our final strike is for 4,000 damage over 2 targets on a single hit. That's Wave Master math out of a Blade Master weapon, folks. Time to open the treasure chest, see what we get. It's a Spirit Halberd, a Yellow Candy, and a Hail Cross. Not a bad haul overall for a level 67 area. Folks, if you enjoyed this, maybe consider checking the game out on your own. Again, check out the links below. If you talk to anyone about the game, do mention it's a good time to be had and really sort of a hidden gem out here and playable in 2021. This has been a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming, thanking you for watching, saying take care, and we'll see you around.